This is Loqueesha. I think I might be a black woman trapped in a white man's body.
You're gay?
No, I'm not gay. Mom, it's not what you think.
Well, what is it? Are you gay?
I've just been very confused lately about your sexual identity. You gay? Why does everybody keep saying that? No, I am not gay.
Loqueesha is a movie that exists.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening.
It is really a movie about a white man who decides to turn into a black woman only vocally to get a job at a radio station because he feels like there's not enough jobs for white men.
You serious?
Someone had to make it. This is the most oppressed race there is, straight white men. And they need to be equal as everyone else, especially in movies. They're getting misrepresented. There's not enough black female white men around. I think this is the first. But director Jeremy Saville has actually made a masterpiece of disaster with this movie. I didn't think it was an actual thing. I thought it was a Funny or Die clip or something. But I looked at the trailer and, oh yeah, it is a full movie. It's on Amazon. So I bought it with my money because I make bad financial decisions, and wow, this movie is a trip. Sometimes I need a break from the content I do. That's why I'm on holiday here in South Africa. And coincidentally, playing the game of today's sponsor, Matchmasters. We've all played a match 3 style game at some point in our lives. There's something super satisfying and relaxing about clearing rows and getting those combos. But Matchmasters sets itself apart because it's the first ever match 3 game that you can play live against other real people with its PvP feature in-game. Challenge your friends or some random opponent from across the world if you'd like. I like to wager with my friends about who's gonna win each round. The game also has fun gameplay graphics and boosters, and the bright shiny objects have me coming back for more. On top of PvP gameplay, there are tournaments and private events that you can host. There are also game modes that change daily, boosters, and so much more. Best of all though, it's free to install and is ad-free. We love an ad-free game. Click on the link in the description to download Matchmasters and complete the in-game rewards calendar to win free daily gifts and the chance to win a $500 USD Amazon gift card. Gift card winners will be announced in-game January 28th. I'll read the synopsis to you. It says, faced with financial crisis, Joe, a divorced, quick-witted bartender, applies for a job at a failing Detroit radio station. Then it has 2 hyphens. As a black female disc jockey. It sounds like a joke. When the synopsis of a movie sounds like a punchline, you already know it's good. And I looked at the poster for the movie. It looks like him doing some sort of duck face / sassy look there. There's also a black woman who looks like she's never seen a microphone before and is like amazed at the concept. The title sequence is in action-like text, so you're getting a lot with this movie. I think it has the lowest IMDb rating I've ever seen at 1.6. And here's some of the highlights of reviews. An embarrassing vanity project of the worst variety. Truly a terrible comedy. One word, delusional. A modern embarrassment. And my favorite, how could this ever happen? This dude was so sad, like he was questioning existence because of this movie, so I had to see what it was like for myself. It turns out it's every bit as bad as you think. And you're probably wondering what actor in the world would take on a job whose role it is to portray a black woman by voice when he's a white man. I'll tell you who. The same one who's the director and writer of the movie. Yes, that's right, the Holy Trinity. Jeremy Saville directed, wrote, and starred in this piece of shit by himself because nobody else would. He likened it to the movie White Chicks when he was faced with enormous backlash, and the person who wrote White Chicks said, please stop tagging me in the stuff, you're annoying as f***. So, good work, Jeremy. By the way, Loqueesha sounds like what a white person think a black person's name is, doesn't it? Like, you know when you see LeBron James and you're like, that's your only point of reference for what a name should be? So you add "le" at the start of something, like LeJohn. That's not actually a good way to guess what a black person's name is, you know what I mean? I could say Michael Smith, and chances are there would be someone. I guess you're trying, but my God. Apparently, the director wrote Loqueesha because it's a play on the word loquacious, because she's talkative, which again just sounds like a stereotype. I don't know. I don't know where you went right in this movie. It's so racial against people of color. It's somehow sexist, misogynist. It's everything in one, really. This is a bowl of shit, and this guy made it. He made a meatball of shit. Let's watch. So the movie starts off with a thing that says Two Guys Presents. That's the company, I'm assuming. Two Guys. This is one writing change away from being a gay porno. That's what it was. Whenever, you know what I mean? Like, you have distributions in movies, and it'll be like DreamWorks or Universal. If you have to, like, have two guys present at the start of the movie, that sounds as bad as the movie looks. It's just two guys who did the movie.
That's the thing, Joe. I gotta dress up in this monkey suit.
You can always tell how good a movie is by the amount of, like, shit music that's in there. With the Hallmark movies, you can't, like, even tell what instruments are being played. You know, it's generic enough. This is that. This is, like, got music that I don't even know what the genre you'd search up is. Like, shit, Hallmark. That's how the movie starts. And we start with an establishing shot off a bar, which Joe, the main protagonist, works at. He's a quirky bartender.
Every day, and go somewhere I don't even like being. And the worst part is that I gotta pretend to be someone I'm not.
Joe is dealing with a drunk lawyer who seems to be thinking this is a therapy session, and Joe, the character, is written like this overly smart person who knows everything about life. He's like one of those bartenders that holds the wisdom of the earth behind the bar shelf. Again, like, I didn't know that Jeremy Saville was the actor, writer, and director till the end. So I was like going into it thinking, man, the writer must love this dude. He must want to suck him off or something. Like, the way that he's writing him is perfect. But it's him. He's sucking himself off.
Might just be a lowly barkeep, but I always say I gotta be me. Otherwise, who else is gonna do it?
There you go. We start off with some Oscar-winning acting. Can you imagine your bartender saying that shit? I always say I gotta be me. Who else would do it? Anyone who can pour things can probably do your job. It's way harder to be a lawyer because you have to study for that. But anyway, go on.
Oh, I've been coming to this bar.
The lawyer then drinks his drink and is so enamored by that advice that he doesn't even say anything. He points at him and leaves. Like, it was like, yeah, exactly. Yes, bro. What did you say? I zoned out. What?
And it never ceases to amaze me that you always seem to say the right thing. What's your secret?
I'm really just talking to myself.
Then whatever that shit happens. It's an old man who's been going to the bar for 10 years who decides to hype this guy up. This bartender is getting the most hype I've ever seen with the first 10 seconds. He's like a superhero of the Marvel Universe. People are just, whoa, not Joe. God damn. He's been giving good advice for 10 years. If he's been giving good advice for 10 years, why didn't he give you good enough advice to leave this bar? Bro, you're a drunk. You've been there for 10 years. You haven't left? That's crazy. Just then, a sassy black woman walks in. That's the only way I can describe it. And yes, she does push curtains back to come into the bar because this is a bar with curtains. I don't know what kind of bar has curtains in it. It looks like a house. But anyway, she walks in.
There's somebody I'd like to talk to.
Give me something strong.
Okay.
Men!
I know. Man, just... Right? This is gonna be one of those. This movie also goes out of its way to make Joe seem like this absolute linguistic genius. When anyone offers a counterpoint, he can debate them at will and turn the conversation on its whim at any given moment. He's just that good at speaking. So this woman who comes in with a huge, like...
Oh, men.
She's just met her match with Joe because he's about to run circles around her linguistically.
Something tells me this is a relationship issue.
You're all the same. You say what you need to get what you want.
You're right. Dalai Lama, Gandhi.
The girl is clearly, she's like stereotyping, like whoever wrote her down is like, I'm gonna make a really angry girl who's drunk and she's talking about old men. This is basically setting Joe up to say something like very wise. Instead of doing that, on his way to offending the many people he decides to also use Indians to be offensive to, and decides, I'm going to do an Indian accent and do the accent of Gandhi, because...
Gangsta, bro.
So this next bit is shout out to my Indian people, I guess.
Mama, you've been fasting again, haven't you? No, I'm telling you, what my belly is, but I couldn't eat another thing. You know what the doctor said about fasting too much?
This is a conversation that happened in a movie that he thought that happens in real life. Like if a girl is like, men, and like 2 seconds later, you're like the bartender, be like, hello, bro, what are you doing? Like that's a normal thing in his world. Like someone could do that and the girl will be like, oh, shit, you're right. And not call the cops immediately for whatever crime is being committed there. I don't know. This guy's also talking to himself for a prolonged period of time while other people are around him, which also seems pretty crazy, I gotta say. I've never seen that happen.
It was just a juice cleanse. I knew it. You lying, morally reprehensible creature with a penis. Creature with a penis.
I mean, I don't know, man. If someone started screaming at me in an Indian accent and they were like white 10 seconds ago, I'd be scared. No matter how many drinks I had, that I wouldn't be drunk enough to process what just happened. But Joseph over here is... I guess this is why he's in the bar. He can do that, and nobody remembers the next day, so he can do all these accents that people are going to forget. Gandhi. Who knew?
I think you want me to sign off on this victim act. You're going to play enabler? You're just as guilty as he is. Actually, you're worse.
I don't really know why, but Joe, he knew everything about the situation, then proceeds to blame her for accepting that dude's behavior, who I don't even know what, I don't know what happened. All I remember is Gandhi made an appearance, and now he's blaming her for something, but the advice to her is so good that she actually enjoys it at the end.
Who's got the problem?
Wow.
Game, set, and match.
Drinks on the house.
Not for the drink. It's for what you said.
He then says drinks are on the house because she's a lady, and I'm assuming prettier than the guy who's been there for 10 years. He probably should have been like, bro, why do I have to pay? I can do that too. I can say men. But then she does pay him for the advice because he's not only a bartender, he's a psychologist who pours drinks occasionally. And she leaves the bar, but the thought lingers in his head. Maybe he should be giving advice. This movie also doesn't know how to transition at all. In between this, it goes to his personal life with his ex-wife, who he's very mean to for no reason.
I don't charge for my advice.
Well, you should, because it was amazing.
Jason, your father's here.
Boy, I wish I could get money for I just do things for people that's not my job and then they pay me for it. Joe's got the best life of all time. He talks to people, they pay him. Black women walk in and they get transformed by his amazing accents of every variety. Next week, see Joe at the bar for a borderline Russian/Mickey Mouse accent. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, it skips to the next scene. He opens the door and his ex-wife is there. But again, I didn't know Jeremy Savile was the actor and director. And I was like, why are they giving this guy so many lines that he's just getting his ex-wife mad for nothing? I'm supposed to side with this character. Usually when you have a movie, you're supposed to see some redeeming qualities in the protagonist. They're supposed to go on a journey with the audience, that they have point A to point B, that we see a transformation. Joe is already a bumbling, wisdomous asshole, and he never changes. So I don't get it. But this is the whole thinly veiled plot of the movie, because they needed a reason as to why he could turn Loqueesha. Because if he's just a dude who's like, man, I could be a black woman, that would be super racist. But this is this is his excuse. It's really
I have to talk to you.
Is it court ordered?
This isn't a joke, Joe.
What's wrong?
In fact, it's good news.
Hi, getting the sex change.
You married her. Was you getting the sex change after me because you hate people so much because I was so bad? What is that even? This is supposed to be a real conversation. Why don't you bring out the Gandhi accent? That's a borderline better.
I should have known I can't have a serious conversation with you.
And why'd you start one?
This is man and woman, just their parents. This whole thing is about their kid. But we needed lines like this so that we know Joe is I'm not sure what we're supposed to think. I'm assuming people are like, ha, good one, Joe. I also wish my ex-wife was a man. That Joseph sure gets me.
Jason's gifted.
Could have told you that.
Yeah, well, now it's official. He scored unusually high on his test scores, and the teachers feel that he'd be better off somewhere else.
So this is the plot line. Jason, their kid, scored. He said they say he's gifted. So I was like, oh, he's like Forrest Gump. And then she says the words, he scored unusually high on his test. And when I heard that, I started laughing. How do you score unusually high? Like, like you get the grade back and they're like, oh, you got 120%. It was only out of 100, Jason. How the hell did you wrote your own questions and got them right? What the? How do you score unusually high? That seems like an oversight there. I gotta say.
College? He's in 3rd grade.
No, just a better, more specialized school for gifted kids. We need to get the money for this school.
They don't have time for this plot, so she just pulls out like it. She's standing outside the door. She just pulls out like a pamphlet that has all of the information necessary, and now they need to raise money for Jason, the unusually gifted student, to go to a better school because he keeps scoring higher than the tests even have. The problem is the school costs a lot of money. You know, everyone's probably like, why don't they offer a scholarship? But the mom has an answer for that too, obviously.
Don't they have any scholarships?
They're all taken for the upcoming year. I won't have my son missing out on an opportunity for an excellent life because his father is either too weak, dumb, or lazy to provide for his needs.
You married him, but
You played
also,
yourself.
yeah, man, scholarships are taken for this year. If Jason doesn't get to school this year, it's over. He's gonna start scoring unusually low like he normally does. This is it, man. If he doesn't go to school right now, he's going to get dumb again, bro. So that's why this is the whole plot. They couldn't wait 1 year till he's in grade 4. I don't know what he's gonna learn in this grade that's so pivotal to his life. But anyway, this is the whole crux of why this man turns into a black woman. This is the wafer thin plot that we're laying on.
Come on, we're going for burgers. I'll take care of it.
So he takes his kid out for burgers, and we skip to the next day, I presume. The skipping between scenes is like really jarring. I don't know what day it is, what the scene is. Again, for filmmakers, maybe setting the scene, usually you have something called an establishing shot where you show the outside of a building or the outside of a place so the audience knows where you are before you're doing the action. If you just skip between two places, the mind cannot figure out what day and time it is because you're in a movie and you get to manipulate time. So they think it's the same day, the same place, and it's quite jarring. It's a little filmmaking tip, Jeremy.
You know we only take cash or credit, right?
These are for you. Actually, that's not why I came by.
So the woman from before is now back. She gave him a bunch of roses. So not only did she pay him, she's now giving him roses because that advice that he gave was so good apparently. I don't know if she went home and did the Gandhi accent to her boyfriend. I don't know what the advice was, but I know it was good because she came back to give him the roses and also say that he should apply for a job at a new radio station, which he found.
I saw this and I thought of you. It's perfect.
Wanted radio talk show hosts, minorities and women encouraged to apply. That's minorities and women. It's a weird way to word it, but all right.
You are brilliant. You will be a hit in no time.
Can you imagine, like, minorities and women, not both? If you're both, no. Either. And kids. We like kids. Not like that. Right, not like that. Write it. And kids, not like that. Minor kids. Don't, just the first part. Minorities and women.
Thanks for thinking of me, but I'm happy doing what I'm doing here, and I don't talk to people so I can get famous.
So then Joe looks at it and he says, I'm happy here. I don't talk to people so I can get famous. This motherfucker has talked to 2 people. What kind of ego tripping do you have that you're like,
I don't talk to people so I can get famous. All these words I keep to myself. I'm a drunk guy.
what kind of egotistical dude is this, bro?
Look, I know you don't believe that you helped me and that he's just going to let me down again. Just think about it.
So she says, just think about it, and Joe needs the money. So eventually they set up a green screen, a little camera, and they start doing a radio show on like their phone to see if they can have an audition.
Okay, I'm going to hit record. You'll intro, and then I'll come in.
Welcome to the Joe Show.
For a total of, 5 to 10 minutes, he just completely talks about stuff that doesn't make any sense to anyone, and I just skip through it because it's not It's just like this guy likes hearing himself talk, so he put him on camera. I don't know how you could look at this and think it's entertaining, funny, witty, or anything, but he just, whatever conversation he's having, he's winning.
Bravo, Joe. Let's send it.
So the next day, presumably, the lady comes back and she has an email to see whether Joe gets the part or not. And Joe is pretty pessimistic. He doesn't think he's going to get it. He's just a lowly barkeep, like he said. And it turns out he was right. He didn't get the job.
We greatly appreciate your submission. However, at this time, we are
Unable to offer you the position of janitor.
That night, Joe is sad, and he goes home to sleep. I'm not sure about this movie and why they choose to show certain things, but they literally showed him going home to sleep. I'm really glad that they decided to show some parts of his life. The next morning, he wakes up with fried eggs and watching a TV show that resembles Jerry Springer, but it's just, I guess, two women fighting.
What you need to do is shut your mouth.
You go, girl.
Said the single man who's white and 40, watching two black women hash it out. Does that ever happen? Anywhere, ever, in society?
See, that's who needs their own show. That's who they want. They want women and minorities. They don't want white guys like me telling them what to do.
There it is. This movie was made on that line that this guy wrote, thinking like, man, you know who's really not being done justice in the world? These white guys. There's always these black people taking over their jobs, Oprah, and so I'm going to, I need to take back if I say take back what's mine, that sounds wrong, but I need to get in there. So he's like, bro, they only want minorities and black women, why don't I turn into both? And in a normal movie, you'd probably have like a guy being like, yo, maybe if I put on this voice, it would work. And someone being like, I don't know, Joe, this sounds like it's majorly racist and probably will cost you your career, like out of the movie. But there's none of that. Like he doesn't have a eureka moment, maybe I should do this voice. It just happens. Like he watches the TV, he's like, they're fun, I'm gonna steal that. It's that simple for Joe.
If I was a black woman, I'd be perfect.
There you go. How many times has that sentence come into like a white man's like head? Oh man, if I was a black woman, that would be way better. I don't know. I have no idea what you'd probably say that to, but Joe, that's it.
Live with Loqueesha. Hey, Loqueesha. My name's Ted. Ted rhymes with dead. You sound dead inside.
There it is. There it is. There's Loqueesha.
I think my boyfriend's cheating on me. But there's a good reason for that, girl. Don't act sharp with me. Loqueesha don't play that.
There you go. There's it. Loqueesha don't play that. There you got that. There it is. She just did it and he was like, this is good, right? Right? I can do this, right? How about a Mexican? No? Okay.
To come out of the wardrobe. This could actually work.
Glad to see you're working so hard.
But it couldn't though. This is the thing. Joe doesn't have any friends. In every scene that he's doing it to himself and then like doing the confirmation bias like, oh, this is hilarious. There's no one else to tell him, Joseph, you're crazy. You're absolutely out of your mind, insane, bonkers. You don't even need to do this. Why are you doing this? Like, he doesn't even know the job will pay anything. It's not like the reward for the job was $13,000. So there's literally no point for him to do this other than let me do black voice. So the next day he's at work on his phone and his boss comes up to him and realizes he hasn't been working for weeks. This scene is gold because they dubbed over the word iPhone with a smartphone and you can clearly see their voice go iPhone.
I got a smartphone.
But you said you hated smartphones.
So I also slowed down the voice because I thought this was really funny. This is a little movie thing. They have something called ADR, which is called additional dialogue replacement. Once you do a movie, there are times that you probably don't say the right word. You get the actors and actresses in to re-record certain lines. Of course, this is not a movie off its caliber. This is the Citizen Kane of shit. So they couldn't get the woman back. Joe instead did her line as well. That's why you can hear her say smart like him, unless she's just a very good thespian and can like replicate voices. I think he did the voice.
Really, really good friends.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell them you have to work now?
Dear applicant, we're pleased to say we really enjoyed your submission. We would like very much to invite you to the station. We can discuss the possibilities of offering you your own radio show. So, it looks like Loqueesha's beautiful voice and work has gotten through to the radio station.
I knew it! Want Loqueesha?
Dad, we're losing 20 grand a month. Advertisers just aren't stepping up like they used to.
So now we are introduced to the other sort of, I guess, main characters. These are the two people at the radio station who are in need desperately of ratings. And they need to find something that will get their viewership up. I want to remind you, this movie came out in 2019. I don't think there's a person on this planet who has said, we need ratings, let's have a radio talk show. It seems like with the advent of TV and Netflix and podcasts and cameras in general, it would be kind of like going backwards, going to just the radio. I don't know if that's the right move, but... The son and father are operating from the 1930s, so I guess this is it, man.
People aren't tuning in like they once were.
It's because we have nothing unique anymore. If you want music, you got Pandora, you got Spotify, Sirius XM.
Wow, he said that like it was an ad. If you want music, you have Pandora, $9.95, Spotify, and that you can have a friend over with, and then you split the bill. If you're a college student, you even pay half. Dad, are you writing this shit down? You were in college once, back when they had it, 1945, right? And they also have Sirius FM, which I think I just made up. But if you want to listen to radio talk show hosts, Dad, I don't even know how much you pay because there's no market for it. RadioTalkShowHost.com, $5.95 a month.
What about traffic and weather? Pandora's not giving them that.
They got apps for that, Dad. It's a new day. What we need is something those other guys don't have.
Dad, it's a new day. People got apps. We need a radio show where we can't see people. People don't tune into the radio. So we need to capitalize on that market. By the way, Dad, have you ever heard of walkie-talkies? I think we should stop playing music from that nowadays. Let's just go back and talk. Dad, do you have a telephone? Not a smartphone, Dad. The one without the screen, Dad. Do you have that? Do you have a booth? Maybe we can stop making calls from there now.
We need a solution.
Then listen to this.
The son is like, I have the solution to our problems. He puts down a phone, and it has the Loqueesha like submission tape, and they listen to it, and they're like, this is dope.
She's brilliant.
I know. This is what's going to make us relevant again. She's going to get people tuning in.
Okay.
I bought this stupid smartphone.
So they really like Loqueesha's demo. They are putting the whole, stake of their career and radio station on this black woman who is actually just a white guy. It's hilarious. And that is that scene. So we then skip to the son and the dad. I guess he's taking the kid out again, the super smart kid who says really smart things.
Dad, that smartphone is making you stupid.
That's why he scored unusually high on his tests. That smartphone is making you stupid. He's not only a really smart kid, he's a comedian too. And he looks on his phone, it says, Dear Loqueesha, we haven't heard from you since we last contacted you. Bro, there's a spelling mistake in the... Can you guys try, please? We last contacted the radio show? This is a movie. You submitted this to film festivals. I read the synopsis. Every film festival said, are you joking? I'm not going to show a movie about a man pretending to be a black woman. This is not what we want. So you got rejected from every film festival and you couldn't spell the word "your" correctly? We would very much like for you to call us. We are prepared to offer you your own show. This is a paid opportunity. Please call me at the station. Thank you. Of course, Loqueesha can't really do an interview or come into the station because, of course, she's a man and not Loqueesha. So Joe has to figure out a way to circumvent this problem.
I am very interested. I have a rare form of xenophobia brought on by a childhood episode.
Yeah, throw that in there while you're at it. I mean, so you can offend like everyone at any point. Just like, yeah, I have childhood trauma, PTSD, when I was in Vietnam, World War II. Man, that was tough. That World War I was tough. I was in the Hindenburg. I blew up in my face. Now I don't want to go out anymore. So can you please don't look at me, just call me and pretend that you think that my voice is womanly? Thank you, amen.
This is Loqueesha.
Hi, Loqueesha.
There it is. The next scene is just gold. Loqueesha is Joe sitting in his chair pretending to fake out two white people who are pretending to think that this voice is from a woman. Joe's desk also consists of absolutely nothing and then his kid.
What's up?
Oh, there it is. What's up? Can you imagine like, oh, I should sound black. What's up? How you doing? That's what he went with.
But we need to talk dollars. How much y'all gonna pay Loqueesha?
How about $500 a week?
That's $100 a show, $33.33 an hour.
Oh my God, this guy knows math like to the nth degree. Who does that? What? When you say how much you're gonna pay someone, do they count backwards until like, that's $500 a show, that's $133 an hour, that's 25 a minute, that's $13 a cent, that's 5 cents a millisecond. I don't know. Okay. That's how he needed to get there? All right.
I need to choose my own producer and engineer. I'm gonna bring him with me. And nobody, and I mean nobody, gets to be in the studio when I'm doing my show.
So Loqueesha has some demands. Of course, Joe doesn't want anybody to actually find out that he's Joe. So he basically says, I'm not going to let anyone see me. When I go in, I'm going to choose my own sound engineer. And eventually they agree to the terms. But in the middle of that, he turns into a weirdly like Bill Cosby impression because he forgets like what he's doing. He's just like, black voice? All right, I got that.
Really? Why?
Why do people do crazy things? Why do men hate in Star Wars?
Whenever you're in doubt, just pull out a Bill Cosby impression. That should fly real well with everyone. Why do people do that? Put it pop. Great. Did he just say the words, by the way? Why do people do crazy things? Why the man hates Star Wars? Is that coherent if you don't do that? If you just said it normally? Is it just because he's putting on the accent, he thinks this, now it'll just... Is that what he said? I just need a replay of that one.
People do crazy things. Why do men hate in Star Wars? Because they ain't right in their head. Pleasure to meet you.
Yep. Why do people do crazy things? Why the man hating Star Wars? Because they crazy in the head.
My name's Loqueesha.
You got a deal, Loqueesha. You start next Monday.
So at no point did these two fools realize it was a man. I mean, I don't know how the voice is supposed to sound like a lady's. I guess maybe it's just a raspy, smoking lady. I'm not sure how this. No, but Loqueesha is then born. She is getting her time slot, but Joe needs someone to actually produce his show. He needs a sound engineer, and his bar has a lot of friends, but most of them are white. So Joe needs to search around and find a not white person. And he finds the only one he knows.
Hey, Mason.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good. Listen.
And it's pretty telling that anytime he sits down, a black person leaves. That guy didn't even say bye to his own friend. He just escaped. He's like, nope, Joe, nope. So he meets this guy called Mason, who becomes the sound engineer on his show.
You're a producer, aren't you?
Yeah.
Come in the back room.
When he said, you're a producer, aren't you? Mason looked down and had to be like, yeah, I am. How did you know that? How did you know I produce albums? Why? You've never ever talked to me before today. It seemed like a very odd guess. But then Joe pats him on the shoulder and is like, come to the back. And Mason's reaction is one off. I don't know, but could be fun.
What does it pay?
It couldn't be much, maybe $200 a week.
It's like $40 a night. It's like $13.50 an hour.
Why? How does every person in this world do this? How do they count money like that? What? $200 a week? That's $40 an hour. That's $13 an hour as well. That's $5 a second. That's 1/10 a millisecond. I don't know about that, Joe. I did the millisecond counting. I don't think that I want to get paid that much per millisecond.
Wait, are we gonna sneak in and do some guerrilla radio or something? Because if so, I may not be interested.
No, we're not gonna sneak in, okay?
So this is just a nitpicky thing for me, but like the acting in this movie obviously is Leonardo DiCaprio level plus. But I will say, when people do acting, usually what they tell you to do is try and be like as human as possible. And if you were human and you said a sentence like, how was your day? Would you keep your hands up until your friend replied? If the answer is no, probably put them down.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold him down by your side. Yeah, great.
Right now, Joe's friend has his hands up like he's trying to get heat from an imaginary bonfire. I don't know why. He could just put his hands down.
I kind of led him to believe my name was Loqueesha.
Loqueesha. And they didn't notice you weren't a black woman when they met you?
Oh, they didn't notice you weren't a black woman when they met you? You just Loqueesha? That's not the part. Like, he's like, Loqueesha? Yeah, I know you do that stuff, but like, nobody noticed. Did you try Gandhi? Did you try that? Gandhi radio? No? Okay.
Wait, you're not some kind of transgender, transracial, cross-cultural dresser, are you?
What the fuck? What? What?
You're not some kind of transgender, transracial, cross-cultural dresser, are you?
Oh, they gave him too many words, man. You know some transracial, cross-racial. You know some transcendental, kind of cool cross-country racing idol, are you? Huh? Joe, save me.
We just spoke on the phone.
Ah.
Thanks. We're gonna need it.
So then Joe convinces this dude by saying he'll pay him $200 plus drinks for life, which is way more than like $500. It's more than what he's making because now this guy could just steal everything. But Mason and Joe then go into the studio. Joe wears a paper bag over his head and it looks really, really awkward. And then he takes it off and we start Loqueesha.
Good. Now let's do this.
You're gonna be great. Remember, it's not a crime.
It's theater.
So I thought this scene was important to keep in that Mason, the black character, says, remember, it's not a crime, it's theater. Jeremy had to write that in his script because in his own mind he had to wrestle with the thought that when he put this video out, people would be like, come on, dude, that's really insensitive. So in his own script, he had to write this defensive line to be like, come on, dude. Like, I know some people are probably gonna think it's crazy, but it's not. It's just theater. It's theatrics. Yeah, so is Al Jolson when he did the Jazz Singer, but that didn't fly too well, did it? That's really, really still not a good thing to do. So, I don't know, man. Black face, black voice. It's just taking everything, huh?
Welcome to the first episode. My name is Loqueesha, and we gonna be talking. My mama, she called me Loqueesha's Loqueesha.
My mama, she called me Loqueesha. We gonna be talking. I'm just making all of this shit up. I don't know. I say mother. I don't even say mama. My mama, she used to give me with the whip back in the day when I was living in the Atlanta. I don't know. Is that what black people say? I don't know. My mama's name was Oprah Winfrey. Wendy.
Your work, your government, your president, especially your president, they all lie to you. But I ain't never gonna lie to you.
He said that. He said that without irony. I ain't never gonna lie to you. A white man pretending to be a black woman.
We the beating heart of Motown in the middle of the night when things ain't right with your boyfriend, your girlfriend.
No. Nope. None of this is flying. Nope. This is all wrong. This should be like just a block of silence in this movie every time he does this voice. It'd be like 5 minutes long.
You got a work situation, or you just wonder, what's it all about, Loqueesha?
So, this actually goes on for 10 minutes. There's just a shot of his face and then a side shot, and there's no skipping in between. So this man loves himself so much, there's no cutting between who he's talking to. He's just talking to himself, and you only hear other people. There's just alternate shots of his own face. Imagine seeing that in the editing room. The director for 10 minutes pretending to be a black woman, and you only have 2 shots to cut from. Yep, that is life for someone.
Well done. Thank you. Because you out your mind.
You go, girl.
Look, it turns out Loqueesha's a big hit, and they have a scene where like they have other people reacting to her. They have a black woman in the car saying, "You go, girl," which is, yep, you needed that.
You white people so afraid to say what's on your mind. What you so afraid of? You the one running things.
There you go. You white people is crazy, says the white man who is very crazy and can really, really attest to how crazy white people is.
You like slaves to what other people think.
No. Whoa. He really said that, huh? He said, you white people are like slaves? He said, whoa. Hold up, wait a minute. Let me reverse time a bit.
After all these years, white people are the slaves.
No! Referencing a historical event that it was so tragic that in today's society it is the cornerstone of how history and modern human relationships work. Maybe not the best place to throw in an ill-timed joke. Possibly, maybe don't make that one. I mean, not that I was on your side about this thing in the first place, but this is a bridge too far, if ever I've seen one. Gosh, dude, making jokes of that caliber, thank God people can't see you, because if they did, they really would want to find you.
Hi, Loqueesha. Been listening to your shows lately.
So Loqueesha she's becoming a hit with everyone, but she is attracting some deters. She's got this white dude who calls the show and calls her a bitch, and then says, you would not know what it's like to be a white man. That's really what happens.
You learning anything?
Yeah, that you're a racist bitch.
What the hell would you know about being a white guy anyway?
I think I know quite a bit.
How is he supposed to know that, you crazy person? Well, imagine just hearing that on the phone.
I think I know quite a bit about being a white guy.
Nobody knows that what are you, just giving that away? Also, why is there a white dude listening to the radio show, calling in, being offended? What is this shit that is going on? Who even says the words, you wouldn't know what it's like being a white guy, to a black woman on a radio show? What is going on here?
That's like saying I know what it's like to be a black woman.
Until you've walked a mile in a white man's shoes,
I suggest you shut the hell up.
That should be a saying that everybody should say. Until you walk a mile in a white man's shoes, you should shut the hell up. That's a great saying. I like that. I'm gonna put that on a coffee cup.
oh, I understand you perfectly.
You hear me on the radio and you think to yourself, how can a black woman be more successful and smarter than I am?
So then they start playing this like really this inspirational sort of like music that's like, we're on Loqueesha's side, and she's giving him the smackdown, talking about like, yo, just because I'm a black woman and I'm succeeding, you think that like it's a crime that I'm doing better than people like you? And Loqueesha's just giving it to this guy.
I tell you something about yourself right now.
What?
You unemployed.
How'd you know that?
There you go. You unemployed. How did you know that I'm unemployed? Says a guy calling at 1 a.m. while listening to a radio show and having a problem with it.
Unless you a black woman.
Do I sound like a black woman?
What does a black woman sound like anyway?
So they have this amazingly gold line here where he's like, unless you're a black woman, and the dude's like, do I sound like one? And Joe is like, what does a black woman even sound like? I don't know, but I could tell you what a white man pretending to be one sounds like. You.
I figured out how to do something that you have yet to.
Like what?
Something I love. Next caller.
So then Loqueesha goes on a tangent talking about how he's living in the dinosaur ages, thinking about how everything should be catered to the white man. And then he cuts him off. And it's at that point you realize, bro, you are white. What are you saying? How can you actually sit there pretending to be black and then be like, psh, white people just be trying to take over our job? When you did that, you know, if you didn't exist, Joe, probably someone who was black or a minority would get the job. So you actually did everything that you were not trying to do against this guy. Marginally speaking, this guy who seems to hate people is better than you, because even though he hates people, he didn't do anything more than call in. He didn't actually take that person's job. So who am I supposed to feel okay with knowing that he actually is the better one out of you two? I don't get it, Joseph. Please make it make sense. Oh shit, we just skip over to an Asian man who is standing at the heart of the city. I don't know what city. And this is now turned into a big media sensation where the Asian man is reporting for some news center, and his main story is that he's found Loqueesha. He makes the effort to call her an African-American woman, which is probably the funniest shit I've heard. considering nobody's seen her and we're just all guessing.
Radio host is creating some buzz with her new show. African American woman has gotten a lot of listeners tuning back into FM radio.
Can you imagine if news actually said that? African American man saves cat from tree. We go to him now. Why'd you bring my race into this? I don't. What? I was just going up a tree, and as we prove, African Americans love saving cats. That's not at all. That's really wrong to say. Is that right?
The station's owner, Bob Richardson of WCRW.
What the hell is even that?
So yeah, this guy can't really say the word WCRW, or they gave him a different line, because not only did they dub over what he actually said, for some reason they actually did a close-up on his mouth, then tried to superimpose it onto his original mouth. So every time he says the word WCW, his mouth does some weird funny movement that looks inhumane because it's not. And it creeps me the fuck out, really.
Says the Arbitron ratings have gone up 40%.
From now on...
The what? The Arbitron rate? What even? The Phantasmic ratings have gone up 5%. And the Count Dracula counting has just been great this season. Thanks to Loqueesha, the Phantasmocrabular prism has influxed in the ass. And many viewers like that. And she's African American, or so I'm guessing, because I haven't seen her. I'm WCR radio host, Asian man.
Management at WCRW would only say as long as she's doing her job, their only concern is that she's a radio host.
So that's this big news story. Loqueesha's making waves around the world, even though people haven't seen her face, and the radio company isn't concerned at all that they haven't seen who this person is. We then skip back to the bar. Joe's friend, the 10-year barred person who loves Joe, looks at the screen and is visibly upset at the fact that a black woman has taken the job he could have had. So I just find that scene very funny. He's like, look, here you are, beautiful advice giver, sexy as well, and they give your job to some black chick. You see, there's no justice in the world, Joe. No justice.
Here you are, so brilliant, and they reject you and take this woman instead? And now she's a hit. And you?
You still stuck in this bar?
Where's the justice in that?
Where's the justice, huh? They keep giving black people jobs. They give people jobs who are just not white. Where's justice? Huh? Because it's just us in this bar. You know what I mean? Bro, I may have drank 3,000 beers, but I'm sober when it comes to... I can see color. Some people can't. You need to drink more beers. The truth comes out, brother.
She's a star. If she did this in late night, she's gonna murder in drive time.
Meanwhile, back at the radio show, the son and the dad have now realized she is an absolute star. She's on many people's stations, and they need to bump her time slot from midnight to prime time because she needs to reach the masses.
Drive time? That's freaking huge.
I know.
It's gonna need more money.
A lot more for both of us.
You're gonna be a celebrity. Strike that. She's gonna be a celebrity.
So with the newfound popularity, Joe and his friend Mason now realize that they have another issue. They actually probably need a real Loqueesha. And by that I mean a black woman. Because it's conceivable that now Loqueesha might make appearances and do other things now that she's more of a celebrity. And Joe is still a white guy. He remains that. So that's a problem. And they need to find a way around it.
Too bad we can't dress you up to look like her. You know, like in Mrs. Doubtfire or Big Mama's house.
They want Loqueesha?
Yeah, but in Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams dressed up as a white guy, and in Big Mama's house, Martin Lawrence dressed up as a black guy, because he, actually, contrary to popular belief, is black. This guy is not. So that would be the problem. That would be, okay, cool. Glad we're getting there. Joe then takes a big sexual gulp of his whatever drink, and then says they want Loqueesha, so we'll give him Loqueesha. I don't know why he sipped it like that. It looked like he wanted to do other things to Mason. Not sure what that is, but okay.
We give him Loqueesha.
And what they mean by that, of course, is they have auditions for Loqueesha. I'm sure they used the exact same slip that Joe got, accepting all minorities and women for this role. And so a couple people apply for the position.
So good to be here today.
You're live with Loqueesha.
I'm happy to blow you two for the part.
Maybe some other time.
Yeah, one girl even says she's happy to blow both of them for the pot, which is, you know, just lovely when you have Hallmark music and then you have lines like that at the forefront. Good work, guys. Good work. At the end, they do find Loqueesha, and she is indeed a sassy black woman. She has the energy of 5,000 horses. I don't know why she came in this strong, but she is just, she loves Loqueesha.
When you said you was looking for a Loqueesha type, I am your girl. If there was a Loqueesha lunchbox, I would have bought it already.
You're like 40. You need a lunchbox where you go? Where do you go? What kind of job requires you to have a f***ing lunchbox? Do people still have that in places that are not school? I just need to know more about this woman. I don't know where she comes from, but I enjoy that. Maybe I need a lunchbox.
I've seen every episode of hers at least once.
How do you see a radio show, actually? I'm actually more curious now that I know that you carry a lunchbox and I've seen a show that is a f***ing radio thing. So please inform me of how you can see that, because the whole point of this you existing is that they need someone to see. Need to actually gather information about this woman. Not sure she's an alien being from another verse trying to break into human society.
And when you ask them, it turns out they just making a porno. You ain't making no porno, are you? Because Renee Michelle don't do porno. Especially not with the budget looks like you fellas have.
Okay, she also does not do pornos. She has a lunchbox. She sees things that are only audio related, and Renee Michelle does not do pornos for that budget. I like how that was the stipulation. If it's a bit higher, then shit, man. $50 or $50.
No.
Come to Loqueesha.
She then sings, and they really like it. I don't know, sings in quotation marks. She just screams until people start enjoying whatever that is. And it seems like they found their Loqueesha, and it's her. Renee Williams, who doesn't do pornos. Renee Michelle?
Renee Michelle.
I don't know. They don't actually have a scene where they tell her what she's auditioning for, but at the end, they just have her saying, "What?" I'm assuming at this point, Joe tells her the whole facade of Loqueesha, and she's now part of the Loqueesha universe. She accepts because she's getting paid, and now she does all the media appearances, so people think, oh, that's Loqueesha. The big problem here, and I think everyone can see it, is that Joe's voice as Loqueesha and fake Loqueesha have completely different voices, because one of them sounds like a woman, the other sounds like a fucking idiot.
I just love my fans, and I'm so glad they love me back so much.
Every time I want to make a change in my life.
Can you hear the difference in voices? Like, anybody in their right mind would be like, one sounds like a normal human being, one sounds crazy. I don't know why they put the voices back to back as well. Like, I don't know what kind of directing choice that was, as if the director was like, bro, look how stupid my audience is. Joe, of course, is the bodyguard for Loqueesha, so he can oversee things while also being Loqueesha in secrecy.
Hi.
Hi.
And things are going really well. In fact, Loqueesha, the show, moving to primetime, has gotten Joe enough money to finally send his son to special school. Oh, you forgot. That's what the whole plot was about? Yeah. This shit's still going. Yeah. His special needs son, who's so special, he needs more school, he's doing well. He's just special. So there's a scene in which Joe finally revisits his ex-wife at a diner to give her money. He takes it out in cash because he thinks he's funny.
Where did you get this?
I stole it.
Thank you. Although, I shouldn't have to thank you for taking care of our son.
Then why don't you take care of her? Him. I don't even know what gender you son. I don't know. I don't know what gender anyone is. I've been listening to a man pretend to be a woman for so long. I don't know the concept of anything. All I know is that your son now has lots of money and that you just relied on a bartender to try and come up with $13,000 in like a month or two. So unless he was dealing drugs or turning into Breaking Bad, it's actually astonishing that he got this money ethically. Which he didn't, by the way, because he's stealing a culture to do it. But hey, you got the money for your son to be in grade 3.
I would like to thank you as well, reminding me why we're not together anymore.
There you go. Joe being excessively mean to his wife for absolutely no reason. His ex-wife saying, thank you for reminding me why we're not together. We're supposed to be rooting for this guy, but as of now, He's just been stealing people's culture, being mean to his wife, and being shit at his job. I don't know what I'm supposed to like about him, but Joseph, I'm done with you.
This is Loqueesha.
Hi, Loqueesha. This is Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Said that very creepily.
Really remind me of a friend of mine.
I'm confused, Rachel. What's your problem?
I'm just realizing that I have strong feelings.
For the guy who reminds you of me.
So this scene is like probably the wildest shit I've seen in a while. I mean, just the idea that his friend who he met at the bar who got him the job, he hasn't talked to in a while. She breaks up with her man. She then confesses she has feelings to who she thinks is Loqueesha, when in fact it is Joe. And Joe is pretending to be Loqueesha, but gives her advice based on Loqueesha's version of how she sees them to get with Joe. This is manipulative on a level that I don't even think super geniuses can do. Joseph has turned from a lowly barkeeper into the world's most evil man.
He is going to welcome you with open arms. Now go get yourself some loving.
Then we see Joe just sitting down, watching nothing. There's just a shot of him sitting. He's like a serial killer, honestly. He reminds me of Dexter.
You want Loqueesha? We give him Loqueesha.
That you're a racist bitch.
Excuse me? Hello, Rachel. You broke up with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And you feel kind of dumb about it. Because you think I'll tell you I told you so.
Joe then pretends that he wasn't Loqueesha yesterday and then guesses everything that she said, to which she's like, oh, wow, you and Loqueesha are like similar. So Joe is pretending to be two different people and absolutely mind-f***ing this woman. He's crazy. You can't do this to humans, bro. You catfished your own friend and then acted like a normal. You're acting as both the catfish and the savior. That's crazy, dude.
And I don't think you're dumb.
Would you like to join me for a drink?
Only if it's at your place.
Funny, because that's where we're having it.
And so Joe then eventually gets the call up to her place, which I would feel like this is weird if she didn't already confess to Loqueesha that she had feelings for him. Now that he knows that she has feelings for him and is still pretending that he doesn't, it becomes beyond weird. This is actually just menacingly terrible. I feel like Joe needs to go to jail for many things.
Boy, you really did miss me.
Ooh, this is great. Joe goes to this lady's house and she immediately kisses him. I don't know, did you miss something? Because I feel like I missed something. She went from lady at bar to you should do a radio show to let me jump into your pants. Like the succession of events here feels like I skipped at least 2 hours of necessary dialogue. But I guess this is happening. This is how all friendships revolve. If you haven't kissed your friend on the lips, just wait. That's gonna happen.
You are the only person who I've ever met who is just completely honest. And I started listening to Loqueesha.
Oh, listening to Loqueesha, are we?
I've waited to the middle of the movie to say this, but he looks like a puppet. I don't even know how I mean that. Every time I look at his face, it looks like someone animated him. Sorry, that had nothing to do with anything. Joe is absolutely being dishonest, and it's ironic because she's like, you're the most honest person I've ever seen. Joe has manipulated her as both Loqueesha and himself at this point.
Oh, you don't know Joe.
Just then, something weird happens while they're making out. Before he's about to get any further, he's putting his lips on her, and then he starts doing the Loqueesha voice for some reason. And she pulls back, and she's like, that's kind of weird. And he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know. And then they kiss again, and he does it again. So instead of letting him finish, I guess Loqueesha is now a cock blocker. This is what happens in the movie. I'm not making it up. I wish I was.
You just said, oh, you don't know Joe. Like Loqueesha.
Did I? Damn, that feels good, girl. Get some.
Okay, now it's officially strange.
Now? You had to do it 3 times before you found it strange? This is why your boyfriend broke up with you. Why are you making out with a guy you met at a bar who's a bartender who can't seem to get another job, who has a kid who has such special needs that he goes up levels in school? Why are you getting yourself in this, lady? Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Are you making fun of me because I'm black?
I think I might be a black woman trapped in a white man's body.
You're gay?
That's how you have to clap when you watch this movie. You gotta spread your fingers upon it. You gotta really do the claps, because this movie is A1. It's top tier. It's S tier. Good movie. But to top things off, like at the start of the movie, for some reason, everyone thinks that he's gay when he says, I think I'm pretending to be a black woman. Everyone just automatically goes to gay. I don't know how pretending to be a black woman as a white man equates to gay. I would love to know the optics on that one, but everyone seems to think that's what this is.
Gay! No, I'm not gay.
Are you pre-op transgender?
No, I'm very much this gender, and I am not swapping out parts.
Well, who are you?
I don't know right now.
Yeah, that was a creepy look, wasn't it?
I don't know right now.
Damn, why'd you let this man into your house? Tell her the truth. I wish he told her the truth, that he pretending to be a black woman just to profit off of things, to send his special needs son to his special school. But like good school, even better school. I wish someone had said that to this girl. She's getting her hand in the wrong cookie jar, if you know what I mean.
I think I should just go. You are such a idiot. What is wrong with you?
So then this movie takes a turn for the absolute worst and weird. Loqueesha, I think, like a virus, is taking over this man's body and mind to the point that he's now talking to himself in the car as himself and her. So, like, you know, realistically, I would say this is an episode and he needs to seek medical help. But he thinks this is fine to have a conversation with himself.
Shut up! No, you shut up!
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
No, sir. Oh, yes, he was! Will you shut up?
So a police pulls him over and he's like, sir, are you drunk? This man proceeds to say no, followed by him screaming at an imaginary Loqueesha who screams at him back. And then he explains himself. I feel like if I was a police officer, that would be sufficient evidence for me to not have him drive. Whatever the hell this is just not roadworthy, I would say. But the officer just listens as he proceeds to say, I've been listening to Loqueesha. I get a little loquacious. I get a little loco. I'm loco-weesha.
I just can't get her voice out of my head.
Obsessed with her.
I am Loqueesha, officer.
That was a brilliant impression.
That's not a conversation that happens. You don't just go into the side of the road and be like, I'm trying to impersonate someone, and then be like, I am Nicolas Cage, and then the officer's like, oh, whoa, that's great, good for you. That's not what it says on your ID, but he just starts doing impressions, and the officer's like impressed. He just confessed as well that he is Loqueesha.
I am her. Shut up. I am her. Shut up.
Okay, buddy.
Long live Loqueesha.
I'm gonna let you go with a warning.
Then he says, long live Loqueesha, and the officer's like, you should go home, bro. You should. They don't pay me enough to deal with this kind of shit. How do you have a conversation like that? How do you even see this as a movie, look at it and be like, I like this scene? The director / writer / actor wrote down, and then I drive in a car and I go crazy with myself, and a police officer is happy but then hates me but won't arrest me. He should have said, I bet you if I was black, you took me into jail, bro. Could have been a whole episode right there. The next scene is the greatest scene in cinema history. It's him talking to himself in the mirror, and it's very comparable to the scene from Taxi Driver.
You're out of control.
You talking to me?
You can't control me, white boy. Oh, we'll see. We'll see about that. I cut you in the night. I need help.
So I put those scenes side to side to show who's a better actor. I don't know who the guy to the right is, but the one to the left is Jeremy Savile. He also says in the text, if you weren't listening, I'm gonna cut you up, because that's just something that all black people say in his head.
I know what you should do, honey.
So then he's like, I need some real help, and he goes to the only person he knows who can help him, his mother, who proceeds to call him gay.
Gay!
You really need to talk to Loqueesha. Just because she's a woman and a black person doesn't mean that she doesn't understand you.
Yeah, that's some good advice, some solid advice by Mama Whatever, Joe, Mama Joe. Just because she's black and a woman doesn't mean she gives bad advice. She gives terrible advice, but I think it's good for you, you white man. We're breaking down racial barriers in this movie tenfold.
Is this really happening?
Your mother is telling you to take the advice of a black talk radio show host who just happens to be a woman.
I like how she re-emphasized that. She's black and she happens to be a woman. Like, I'm not sure how that one happened, but she's both black and a woman. And honestly, I didn't think it, but being black and a woman, I didn't know she could give good advice. But she's a black woman, so never seen that before. Oprah. Can I retake back all of that statement, Joe? Just listen to Oprah.
Mom, I don't even know how to tell you this.
What? That you're a racist and a misogynist?
Who would say that, Mom? Why is that the first thing that goes to your head, bro? I don't know how to tell you this, Mom.
You're racist? And you've been hiding that the whole time? I know you like white, but not this much, Joe. God damn it.
Why would that be what goes into your head? And she's followed it up with, and a misogynist? Not even like, or. She's like, you're both? You can't be one.
That you won't even listen to her because she has a vagina and darker skin? I did not raise you like this, Joseph.
Nope, nobody says things like that. There's no mom in the world who's like,
just because she has a black vagina.
What? She got a black hole, you don't want to get sucked up into it, huh, Joe? Huh? You don't like science? Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Joseph. But crazy right there. You racist, pig, idiot, white male who is my son. I'm Mama Joe, and I just throwing out epithets, everything. I'm throwing out whatever. I throw my son under the bus on a regular basis.
I am so ashamed right now.
Mom, it's not what you think.
Well, what is it? Are you gay?
Why is that the thought? Like, he didn't even say anything. That thought. You're either racist, misogynistic, or gay. Sometimes you're a trifecta. What are you, gay? Huh? You like men, but you black men? At least you're not misogynistic. Maybe if you like black women, you wouldn't be misogynistic, Joe. Huh? I'll wait till Joe actually tells his mom about his girlfriend who he manipulated. There's a lot going on with Joe's life right now, actually. Maybe just piece by piece he could unravel the truth.
No, I am not gay.
Honey, I will love you no matter who you love.
I'll talk to Loqueesha.
You lie!
Yeah, so the mom doesn't help at all, and Joe ends up being like, I'm gonna just talk to Loqueesha. And the next scene that transpires is basically a sound engineer being like, what the f-? And Joe actually goes on and pretends to be his own caller and has a conversation with Loqueesha. The scene is self-indulgent, really boring, and just features two different angles of that same beautiful face from actor, director, writer, nightmare inducer, Jeremy Savile.
How you doing, Joe? I'm good. No, you ain't. People good don't call Loqueesha. I'm the fairest of them all. I'm Snow Black.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm the fairest of them all. I'm Snow Black. Huh? You wrote that line or you improvised that? I can imagine Jeremy being like, I am the fairest of them all. I'm Snow Black. Guys, I think we have an Oscar-winning movie. Guys, where's everyone? Why'd they leave?
I feel like there's two people inside of me, and they're both struggling to be dominant. Oh, so you like schizophrenic?
Sounds like Loqueesha's got a real nutbag on the line.
Who is this guy and why is he dying? What the hell? This is a random cut to a guy in a hospital being happy, listening to Loqueesha. What is the diagnosis that you're so happy, yet still in a hospital, brother? I need to know more about that.
I've just been very confused lately about your sexual identity. You gay? Why does everybody keep saying that?
Ha! Gay!
Damn, even Joe calls himself gay. Maybe he is at this point. If enough people start calling you gay, you might as well be. You know what I mean? Maybe he doesn't know, but maybe he's gonna be. If Loqueesha's calling him out, and Loqueesha is him, a made-up black personality that he does offensively on a radio show every day, maybe there's some truth in that. I don't know.
But what's your problem? I still don't know why you calling. It's like a ventriloquist who gets a dummy. But what's your problem? I still don't know why you calling. Because the dummy can say all the things the ventriloquist can't. But what's your problem? I still don't know why you calling.
How are you supposed to watch this movie and not try your hardest to buy a ticket to the top floor of a penthouse suite so you could jump off it? I don't get it. I'm watching this movie, I'm looking at a guy turn his face 45 degrees, having a conversation with himself while a black sound engineer looks at him like, probably he didn't even have to get the reaction of like, say action and see what his reaction was. This guy just was like, yeah, this is what the movie's about. God, this is really, really dumb.
It's not enough for you to do good work. You need for everybody to know it's you doing it. All right, you're right. I want people to know how smart I am.
Why is this movie... Actually, the more that I think about it, the more stupid the idea is. Like, it was a stupid idea, admittedly, just from the start. But, like, why make someone a radio show? Like, because just as a visual aspect of movies, why would you make a movie about radio? All you have is shots of him, like, going into the radio thing. Maybe, like, a movie like Good Morning Vietnam is a great movie because Robin Williams got to improvise the whole movie and do his comedy bits. But there are also things about Vietnam. It's not like him just in a room doing it for 2 hours. Also, that was the 70s. We're in 2019. All I'm doing is watching a guy go like this, and then do a really bad pretend black accent, I'm assuming.
You can do everything she can. She your little creation. Have fun with her. She your Frankenstein.
Then they have a weird shot of Joe listening as Joe is talking while Joe isn't talking, which blows my mind because he has to be talking, so I don't know who's talking at this point. Is honestly criminal to have this type of directing right now, but my God. So I'm watching a man maybe make this whole shit up in his head? Honestly, I feel like if the movie ended up with Joe waking up and being like, this is a horrible idea, I'm not going to do it, he'd have some saving grace as a career. This is
gangsterly bad.
Still don't know why you calling.
One eternity later.
When people talk about God, they usually say he, but there's clearly no gender in the divine nature.
Do they sell plane tickets to the Bermuda Triangle? Because I get dropped off there. I might as well. I never thought this was going to be a long philosophical conversation about God when a white man pretends to be a black woman and then they have a conversation with each other. I didn't think we were going to get this philosophical. Maybe Joe is a poet and we don't know it. I don't know.
But I'm not a rapper.
What I do know is that this man thought that he was writing the greatest script of all time, and what he was doing was making a brown boy's dreams become nightmares.
It just divided itself up into two for reproductive purposes because we get tired of the same old thing.
Just saying the word thing as a white person is like, this is no. Ah, look at that thing. Come on, girl. Look at that thing. Nice butt cheeks. Good work, Joe. Why didn't you become a country radio personality? That would have been a way funnier movie. Joe goes from this and pretends to be country boy, and everyone on the country radio turns him on. Not like that, you know what I mean?
No, I am not gay. Don't be afraid of any part of you. The man, the woman, the black, the white, the Chinese, the Mexican.
This is Martin Luther King as a white man in the studio. We're watching history be made right now. He is doing that speech that is supposed to empower everyone watching this movie.
What the fuck was that? Hey, I know you just talked yourself off the ledge. You think you could do it for real this time?
What's up?
You got a jumper.
Right, so the sound engineer comes in and he's like, bro, what the hell was that? And Joe laughs, and that scene is over. Everyone's just okay with the fact he therapized himself, gave himself a Martin Luther King speech, and didn't solve anything. We're now, I don't know, an hour plus into the movie. I think I'm still sober when I'm watching this. I'm not even sure. But things get worse, because why would they get better? At this point, the sound engineer is like, man, I know you just therapized yourself, but we have someone who's about to jump off a bridge, and they called the Loqueesha show. So could you help them? And Loqueesha proceeds to say, just jump. Just do it.
Do it! Just do it!
Well, I certainly think I can. So when we get back from commercial, just put them through and we'll...
When we get back from a commercial, she's gonna jump, Joe. What are you doing, Joe? Joseph, she's not waiting for the commercial to be over. Loqueesha, I'm gonna jump. Oh. Well, I gotta wait for 3 commercials before I do. Nike, just do it. All right. Well, that's really badly timing, I gotta say. All right, what else?
I'm on a bridge above the river, and I'm gonna jump.
But thanks for calling. Enjoy your jump.
Good, well said, Joe. That's why they come to him. poor lady.
Can't you see I need help?
What I can see is somebody looking for some attention.
Neither of them can see each other, just by the way. So she's at the bridge, and Joe's now told her to jump, and then also called her a narcissist. This is not the right time to be doing your weird speeches, Joe.
And if you commit suicide on my show, I'm gonna get national coverage. I'm gonna be famous. So it's in my best interest that you plunge to your death right now.
This whole sentence. I don't even know what to say. I got nothing.
This is some gangster writing.
The director, writer, actor, dumbass extraordinaire wrote this thinking it would be funny, I think. Maybe a hot take on why people are so depressed they decide to do that. He thought that he could write this conversation in between the one he has about gender and God. This movie touches on everything, like the way that someone would touch you and you don't want them to touch you. This is like that. It's a touching movie.
Make everybody happy. Do what you gotta do. You ever been to Paris, Doris?
No.
Then Joe starts giving his actual advice. Very good thing that she didn't jump after all that berating, because, God, I mean, I feel like if Joe said that to me, even if I didn't want to, I would jump. I wouldn't even need to. I just hate it.
Here's what I would do if I was you. I would fly myself to Paris. I would fling myself from the top of the Eiffel Tower.
There we go. We almost, I thought Joe was going to give some serious advice. Then he said, what I do is I jump from Paris. At least this way it would be romantic. Probably. I don't know. He wrote that down. You think it's over, but it gets worse. That's his career, the actor's career. You think it's over, but it just keeps getting worse.
You make quite a splash, or a splat.
I've heard Paris is nice in the spring.
Yeah, it is. That's not what he was saying at all, but all right. She's somehow taking this advice super positively. Can you imagine making a movie and having the scene come out and thinking, this is funny, or this is cool, or anything, any thought that's relevant to human nature, decency, something? I don't know how far out of touch with reality you have to be to write any of this movie and think this would fly, but this seems to be the straw on the camel's back for me. I check out.
Amazingly.
And he saves her. She's probably so annoyed that she decided to live just so she could get revenge on him. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't even know how he saved her. He just said Paris is a nice place to do it from. And she was like, yeah, okay, gotta start saving money then. So she's saved, her life is saved, and now he's on national news again.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And then Oprah Winfrey messages him on Gmail. This is gangster, bro. It's just a very funny sequence of events. Oprah's like, yo, this is Oprah. Do you have $50? Yeah, if you got $50, you could win my grand prize of coming on my show. Love your show and want to offer you a show on Oprah Winfrey. Believe you deserve much larger audience. Please contact us ASAP. We're excited to work with you. Sincerely, Oprah. Sounds about right.
Let's not do something idiotic and screw this whole thing up, okay?
Just TV's big, but I guess it's better that I just listen to Loqueesha.
Joe does not accept the offer to be Oprah's sidekick or whatever. Side bitch, side chick, I don't know. Because there is like a huge problem with being on TV, and that is that he is a white man pretending to be a black woman. That usually would end you up on Dr. Full, but not as the host.
Open the door or I'm gonna throw rocks through your windows, you dumb whore.
Joe says no, he's gonna politely decline it. His sound engineer says, damn, that could mean big money, but I see where you're coming from. Since you're lying and pretending to be a black woman, that seems to be a conflict of interest. However, the woman he hired to be Loqueesha, who doesn't sound anything like Loqueesha, busts in the door like she's Ali Petey and is very annoyed because she could have been Oprah Winfrey's side chick. And we have a conversation about that. Everything that just happened, like Joe having some random bipolar / schizophrenic episode is gone now. The woman who is jumping from Paris, that's great. Everything else before just doesn't matter. We just keep moving on to new issues with Joe.
Out of your motherfucking mind.
What the hell are you doing here?
You turned down a show on Oprah's network?
Who told you that?
What difference does it make?
Actually, yeah, how does she know? It was in your email. Also, Oprah Winfrey Gmails people. That's a very funny concept. Can you imagine getting an actual message? Hey, it's Oprah. Can you come on my show? And can you imagine how many spam folders she's in right now? people being like, "Psh, yeah, that's Oprah." And Oprah's like, why doesn't people want to come on my show anymore? She's been sending Gmail, so that's the problem.
Oh, you're an identity thief. You might not be an individual identity thief, but you're a cultural identity thief. You done stole an entire culture's identity, not to mention agendas, and co-opted it for your own little charade. But it's time for the sisterhood to take back what is rightfully ours with a little bit of payback.
This is an important part of the movie. Maybe the only important part. The one person who should be on the right, who's just a girl pretending to be Loqueesha because she's fits the physical description, turns on Joe.
That's what she said.
And we think, oh, okay, she's giving Joe the what for. But in this movie, she proceeds to somehow be the bad guy. Yes, the person who's actually a black woman is a bad guy in this movie because she's a greedy, horrible human being. And Joe is always in the right. This is that movie.
So we got a new deal, Joe. We split 70-30. You get 30.
What?
Because if you don't, I would tell everybody.
There you go. She starts blackmailing people. But it is not just blackmailing people. Let me put it to you in a term that she would say.
Are you blackmailing me?
No, I'm black femaling you.
I had to slap myself back into existence there. I zoned out and wanted to pass out, but I'm back. She's black femaling you. Has Oprah ever used that in her 20 years? Did she put a little sass on it? That's good one. Good one, Jeremy. Thank you for writing that joke down. Where is your stand-up set and how do I not see it?
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Sid.
So after that, the blackmailing or black femaling happens and Joe has to make a very important decision. Does he keep up with the show or does he not? He then meets his ex-wife, who is very happy to see him upon learning that he is now a rich man and wants to bang him at any given moment. Because this is how life works.
I want to acknowledge you for coming through for Jason. He's thriving in the school.
Upon realizing that Jason, his son, who's so special needs, he's smart, is now doing well, he's thriving and surviving, Joe is like, yo, I'm gonna take this deal even though this girl is black femaling me. I'm gonna take the deal. And we're supposed to feel sorry for Joe because of the sad clarinet music that seems like Squidward played it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We have to feel sorry for Joe because he's the main character and he's just doing this from the goodness of his heart. He's just trying to send his kid to a private school. Everyone can empathize with that. Everybody's taken someone's culture and identity to send their son to a private school. Who hasn't? I do it every Tuesday.
That was amazing.
Then he watches his son ride a horse, which is just very, I'm supposed to be feeling empathetic for you, Joe. This is make me feel a little less empathetic. Maybe this is a white thing, I don't know. Does every dad watch their kid ride a horse? I don't have a horse. I'm sadly rooting for Joe while he watches his special kid ride a horse. And every time I say special, I just want to acknowledge he's not dumb. He's so smart that he's special. I don't know how either.
2 tickets to the Pistons tonight.
We're going to the Pistons game?
No, I'm taking somebody else.
Then he says that he's going to the Pistons game with his son. So I guess he really hates his kid because nobody would want to go to a Pistons game. Then he takes him to a restaurant, they have food, and he asks his son, are you really enjoying school? And to his dismay, his son is like, I don't know, Dad, it's all right. Just like a real kid would normally say, I don't know, it's just school. And then Joe's like, damn, what the hell?
I've always loved you, but I've been loving you so much more since you got a better job.
Oh.
Kids, am I right? I've always loved you, but now I really love you?
Oh, little bitch.
Now I will send you to the Pistons game. Courtside seats, it cost them $50. They had to pay me. Now you're going to have to sit there and watch the players cry while you cry. Okay, son?
So how's your school, Jason?
It's great. I really love it.
What are you learning?
I don't know.
Why am I paying so much money if you don't know?
He's in grade 4, brother. What the f*** do you think he's learning? He's still using the abacus to do this shit. Are you kidding me? He's in grade 4, brother. You're paying $13,000. You're getting scammed by your ex-wife. She's not even using that money to send him to school. He's homeschooled. Have you ever looked at that?
Isn't that kind of the point? To gain knowledge? I don't know. Wisdom? And when I say I don't know, I'm being ironic, because I really do know.
Is that how you talk to your kid? You monologue to your kid? This is why your kid hates you, man. Every time you ask him a question, he answers it, you have to do this weird monologue that makes you seem like a, I don't know, wisdomous person. Some bullshit. Is that what I'm paying for? Is that what any of us are paying for? Speaking of paying, what is education really? You know what I mean, James? Jimmy? Whatever your name is. I went to the Pistons game and I looked at all those players and I was like, none of them had an education. Jimmy. He's walking away. But I'm gonna still keep talking.
Thanks, Loqueesha.
Well, that's our last call of the night. And in fact, our last call for good.
So, the next day, weirdly enough, Joe decides to go back on his decision to accept Loqueesha's position on Oprah's show, and he says he's going to end the show abruptly. Nobody knows about it. Probably because his son actually didn't get a good education. He probably felt like he could cut the plug on the show, and he just abruptly ends, causing the people who signed him and the black woman, who's really a black woman, to be pretty angry.
I love you all. Good night.
What the f*** are you doing? You said we had a deal.
I like how at the start of the movie she's real happy, and then towards the second half she's like a really angry black woman. She says things like, what? Like really loudly. And then every second sentence off her mouth is like, what the mother are you doing? You white trash. Joe, you piece of shit. Okay, she doesn't sound country, but she just says the F word a lot in this like second half. I don't know. She's really angry.
You got a contract. You got to honor that. You cannot walk out on me.
You gotta honor your star, Ken. I think you got your priorities mixed up. I put you guys on the map.
Okay, we'll get you whatever you want.
What a negotiation that was. Holy shit. I need to negotiate like that more often. He walked in and what the hell was that? She's like, you need to get your star more shit. And he's like, of course. Fuck yeah. Yeah, alright. Sorry about that. That is negotiation 101. Joe is just teaching me so much about this series.
And you're fired.
Perfect. I wouldn't work for you anyway. Big ass Loqueesha.
You lied.
So then Loqueesha goes on the air, and this time it's the Loqueesha that they hired to be the physical Loqueesha. But now her mentality is shown on screen, and she is a vindictive, horrible person. Yes, that's right. Nobody in this movie besides Joseph himself is an angelic human being, because this woman squanders her opportunity by proceeding to be very, very angry towards anyone and not being able to give good advice. This movie teaches us the lesson that if you're pretending to be black and doing a voice, it's okay if you're doing it for your kid. And also, if you're actually black, you're not gonna get the job anyway. That's what it's teaching us. This is a great lesson, Joseph.
I'm tired of listening to all your pathetic stories. You crazy. You know what you're talking about. You're crazy and you're stupid.
And that's the other thing. You're just mean now.
Nobody hates up on me!
She sounds like Anthony Anderson.
Nobody hates up on me!
I don't even know what kind of caricature bullshit this is, but yes, Loqueesha turns into evil, maniacal, crazy lady. Starts getting angry, aggressively grunting, screaming at people through a microphone like she's in a WWE match. This is really the character he wrote.
When you get back here, you better be ready to go, or else.
Yeah, so she aggressively screams at people, and then she goes on sabbatical because the radio show people are like, you're crazy, you're being pretty crazy. And Loqueesha, well, fake Loqueesha, goes to Joe, who's real Loqueesha, but fake Loqueesha. The black woman goes to the white man and then has a conversation with him.
All over the news. You fucked it all up.
Okay.
Fucked it up.
I messed up. You want me to admit it?
So then they start screaming at each other and have a scream match. Loqueesha wins. You pick who. And she's like, I'm sorry, man. I pretended to be Loqueesha. This is your job. You're the pretender. I'm just really black. I'm actually what I say I am. You can lie and do all that shit. Keep doing that, because you're better. And somehow we're supposed to root for Joe because the woman who actually is the thing is the bad guy in this movie.
There, I said it. You are a better black woman than I am.
Gangster. Joseph wrote that line down.
I would love to go to China and have a Chinese man be like, you're way better at being Chinese than me. You try it. And then I'll never be allowed in that country again. So it's very good work, Joe. Very good. I don't know how you could possibly write that line, but oh, wow.
And that was her for me.
It was never about race or gender or fame or fortune. It's about telling the truth straight from your heart. It's about telling the truth straight from your heart.
I mean, you had to lie and do all the stuff that you just said you didn't want to do to get there. It's about speaking from your heart, and in my heart is a black woman. So I'm gonna do that. That's deep, Joe. This cuts deep.
But you can fix it. You can come back and it can go back to the way it was. What are you doing?
Something I should have done long ago.
So then fake Loqueesha asks Joe, the faker Loqueesha, to come back on the show, and Joe steals her car. I don't know if that's her car, I'm just assuming that's her car, but I feel like it would be funnier if he stole her car. So I'm just gonna say he stole her car and he's doing something he needed to do a long time ago. In every romantic comedy movie, they have that scene, I'm doing something I needed to do since the start of the movie. And then he kisses the best friend, and usually she's like, single because like she just broke up with her 10-year marriage, which she also hated. So this is a simple movie, I'm just saying. You have to be simple to watch it.
Excuse me, can I help you?
Yeah, I'm here to see Bob and Ken.
I believe they're in a meeting. Sir, you can't just walk in there.
Trust me, they're gonna want to see me.
Who are you?
It's complicated.
Very good scene right there. Joe goes to meet the people who actually hired him because those people were boneheaded enough to not ever see him. And then he tells them that he is the real Loqueesha. And then we have a scene of acceptance. The three white guys sit and talk about how it's not a bad concept. And yeah, honestly, this is about right. This is about how the movie would have got made.
Who are you? I'm Joe. I am Loqueesha.
It's like one of those M. Night Shyamalan movies where you go, of course.
That's right. All movies of M. Night Shyamalan, I end with, of course, when I see the credits. Joe also proceeds, the actual director-writer person decided to write a diss at famed director M. Night Shyamalan for absolutely no reason, thinking that he might see this movie and respond. I don't know why he thought this was a good idea, but he, for no reason at all, this is M. Night Shyamalan in a movie that should have never seen the light of day.
Oh, you mean The Sixth Sense? Because the other ones were predictable and stupid, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Why'd you do it, Joe?
Good one. In a movie called Loqueesha, you have the nerve to talk about other people's shit movies. God damn it.
That is gangster.
That's like being in Buckingham Palace and talking about Compton. That is gangster.
I sent you an audition, you rejected it. I jazzed it up a little bit and you loved it.
But she always preached honesty.
Really bad choice of words saying jazzed it up, considering the dude from the Jazz Singer, Al Jolson, put shoe polish on his face to be a black man for no reason.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Remember that movie? It was the first talkie. This is some movie history for you. First talkie, 1929 or some shit like that.
It's just a different generation.
Also, first dude to openly do blackface for Al Jolson, everyone.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
I needed the money for my kid's school. I knew it was wrong, but I had to do it.
Means justify the ends kind of thing.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the acceptance of it. I understand what you're saying. You pretended to be a black woman and fooled us all, and it's to send your son to school. I did the same thing. I am doing the same thing. My wife doesn't know. She thinks I'm black. Still, to this day, we've been married 40 years. I don't know. She's blind. Did I tell you that? His wife's deaf. Don't ask what he does.
Loqueesha's a beloved character, right? I don't think people care whether she's real or not. I mean, does knowing that Mickey Mouse is made up does make you love him any less?
No, I love Mickey.
Oh, comparing Loqueesha to Mickey Mouse is...
That's a gangster comparison, isn't it?
You're pretending to be a real race of people, but saying that that's an apt comparison is quite funny. Mickey Mouse is a f***ing mouse. If they drew him as a black person and then had a white person voice him, that would be pretty bad, I would say. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, we compared the wrong set of things. This seems even worse than if you didn't say that, bro.
You tell everyone you're Loqueesha, but the show goes on.
What, you want me to confess and progress?
Exactly.
Great idea, Dad.
That took a long time for the kid to... He stopped speaking like 5 seconds ago, and the dude's like, yeah. Good idea. Good, really good. Really zoned out there. 2 white people. All I can think about is the dark, dark future that's going to be ahead when we confess this. Good idea, though, Dad. Very good. We should confess.
And I don't know how I'd feel about spending the rest of my career channeling a black woman. Not to mention how black women would feel.
What about your kid's school?
Let's let the audience decide.
So we have reached an impasse. Joe is suddenly realizing that he doesn't want to pretend to be a black person his whole life. I don't know why it just hit him, but okay. The two people from the radio show are like, don't you need money for your kid's school? Keep being black. Keep doing it. Keep doing black. Do black voice. Go ahead, go, do. So they keep egging him on, and he's like, all right, so I don't want to be black voice, but you want me to, so let's let the audience decide. Do I do it or not? And then he leaves a poll. He takes an Instagram poll to see whether he continues doing the voice. This is random. This is gangster. Imagine having a film where a dude does blackface, and then it's like, I'm sorry guys, but let's have a vote. Should I keep doing it? And then people are like, yeah, that's pretty good. So he keeps doing it, even though he knows it's wrong. That's no learning.
And so that, my dearest listeners, is the story of our beloved Loqueesha. I can understand and accept your anger. Did it save my son?
He said he had to save his son, but his son wasn't dying. His son was thriving. He actually did it to make his son even smarter, but his son seems dumber every time I ever see him on screen, so I don't know. Don't know, Joe. He tells his audience that he's been a white man. They cut that part out, oddly enough. I don't know why. I feel like that would have been the best part of the whole movie, but they cut out everything until he said, that's the story.
Son of a bitch.
Well, we're all very proud of you.
I'm so shocked. I'm very proud of you.
Can you imagine a movie? It's the same movie as I said before. Let's say a guy called Gary does blackface, right? And then it's called Gary Being Larry, and he pretends to be a black guy called Larry. I'm just making this up. And then he pretends to be Black Larry, and then he's like, shit, I'm just Gary after all. I was just putting stuff on my face, so crazy, racist, I'm sorry. And then everyone is like, yo, man, I'm proud of you. That was a hell of a move you pulled there, doing all that blackface thing. I'm shocked, but I'm proud of you. Would that movie exist in reality, or is that just human nature would say no, right? But in this movie, everyone's super proud of him for doing black voice.
I knew that someday you were going to do something really big. I just never realized you were going to do it as a black woman.
Well, I might still keep the show.
The second to last scene, after everyone applauds him for doing a black voice, is that he confesses to his wife and kid. His kid doesn't seem to give two f***s, to be honest. And like a kid, why would you? Your dad tried to take you to a Pistons game, so he hates you, and he sent you to a private school by being a black woman. It's very confusing as a normal adult. As a kid, this is just too much to process. Why dad would even do half the shit. So the kid doesn't try. The mom, however, is kind of annoyed, but I think she's also a little happy.
If I don't, we'll figure something out.
I don't like the sound of that.
What do you think I'm going to do, rob a bank?
I'm proud of you, Dad.
Oh, okay, well, the kid's proud of him. That's good. At least another person is really proud that he's pretended to be black. That's good. But everyone who's proud of him happens to be white. Now let's look at his girlfriend, the person who he met in the first scene, who heard everything. And she is a black woman, so I don't know if she's going to take this too well. She meets Joe outside of his house. That's not stalkerish, it's just apparently very good, but they meet at the driveway, so it looks like stalking.
Hi, Joe.
Oh, shit, you scared the out of me.
You lied.
Why'd you even write that line, though, Joe? What, like at the end of the movie, is it necessary to have, holy shit, you scared the out of me? Like, does that add anything to the final 2 minutes of a movie? Do you think Joe is sitting there like, I got a greatest script of all time, Steven Spielberg passed on it, idiot, but it needs one line. Holy shit, you scared the out of me. Now we have a movie. What? Why? What is this? It's just so arbitrary at the end of a movie. Okay.
Oh, you are...
So then she punches Joe and like audibly is like, you got that black strength. It's just...
That hurt.
You think all black women sound like that? Joe, what up?
I have a close-up of him saying that hurt. After she starts talking, he like pushed him and he's like, what the hell? Oh my God. What are you lift? God damn it. Jesus.
That's what they wanted. They didn't want me. Remember? You didn't want me.
So the last scene is him being like, they didn't want me as a white man, so I became a black woman. I did the only thing I knew how to do. And it's supposed to be like this happy scene where everyone's like, oh yeah, I agree with Joe. What else was he supposed to do? We're actually made to feel like this character is in the right, and we feel sorry, empathetic, and also proud of his achievements by the end of the movie. What am I supposed to do? They didn't want me. It's because you sucked, bro.
I didn't care that you pretended to be somebody else.
Love you.
That's what I was going to say.
Ah, yes, of course. A shoehorned love scene for no reason. I love you, that's what I was going to say, is a hell of a reply, falsely. But that's good.
Great. I've got nothing left to talk about.
And then they kiss each other because she makes up. So I would love to know how this woman, if she continues dating him, is going to tell her family she met him. Because she met him at a bar. He pretended to be a black woman. She listened to the black woman giving advice because she called in. Then he pretended not to know that he gave her the advice. Then went schizophrenic on her. Then went back to normal in order to confess that he was indeed a black woman. She punched him. And then he said he loved her, and now they're dating. Manipulation, lying, racism, you name it. That's my husband, Joe. So I guess they sleep together or something because they end up in the same bed. And in the morning, he looks at the poll because the results are in. You'll never believe what happened.
20% voted, can you?
Wait a second. That means I still have my show.
Movie ends with a poll with 20% of the people saying, I think this is offensive. Get out.
40% voted for Loqueesha.
It's a tie.
80% of the people didn't say that. 40% of them said, I want to see the Joe show even though I haven't heard you speak as Joe for any point. And 40% of the people said, F it. I don't care that you're pretending to be a black person. I think I'm going to allow this delusion and also be delusional enough to listen.
Well, that's it for the first episode of The Joe Show. Right now, I'm going to hand it off to one of my favorite people.
And so not only at the end of the movie does Joe succeed, it's 2 jobs. As a white man and as a black woman. Back to back.
Who's got just one question for you. What's your problem?
The movie ends with the greatest insult to parents I've ever seen. It says for mom and dad, as if those 2 people would watch the movie in a horror. Because maybe he hated them as much as they hate him and being like, well, yeah, for mom and dad, he made this abomination and we made that abomination who made this movie, so who's worse? We made him, he made that, you can hate us. He dedicated this shithole to mom and dad. He must hate his parents, man. That was Loqueesha. I'll talk to you quickly about it and then I'll get out of here because this is disgusting. But yeah, I don't think I need to tell you exactly why this movie is super offensive. I think you have seen everything you need to see. But this man is clearly, I don't know if he's maliciously doing this. I don't think he is. I think that he's just so stupid. He thinks that this is a good idea. And I'm not sure why he didn't have any friends tell him that it wasn't a good idea. Like I said, the movie almost got into film contention. He entered it into 100 film competitions. All of them said no. And the one person that said yes ran it until people walked out of the cinema and complained. And then they had to pull it and disallow him from doing any other movies there. He has since done other movies, none so offensive, but all of them boring. I looked on his YouTube channel. He's been doing this for 15 to 16 years. And I feel like once you haven't improved in 15, 16 years, give up. I don't often say it, but give up, bro. Please, God, for the love of mom and dad, don't let them sit through another movie like this. They don't need to be constantly reminded of what you're doing with your life. This is a very, very sad reminder. I don't know how a human being could think that this is a good idea for a movie. It is pretty racist at times. It seems to trade humor for racism, depression. I'm not sure about schizophrenia. Misogyny, just everything. He just touches on every base. And that is director, actor, writer, extraordinaire, Jeremy Savile, I forget his name. Loqueesha. I don't know how often it's gonna happen. I feel like this is once in a blue moon thing. Like I said, the last time this happened was 1929. So there was a movie though that also sort of touched on the subject, but none so apathetic as this. Thank you for teaching us that you can do anything if you follow your dreams, even if those dreams are absolutely hard. Jeremy, please stop making movies. And to Jeremy's mom and dad, shame on you. Nah, I was just playing. You know, just please, can you give your son like something to do? You can buy him a Lego set or something. I don't know. This dude is clearly not able to. He's spending his time doing the wrong things. Okay, Jeremy's mom and dad. You're gonna have to ground the kid. I know he's 50, but please take away his cell phone and anything he can use to film things for the next year, and we should be good. Thank you. Take care of yourselves. If you have kids, make sure they don't make these sorts of movies. I'll see you later. Click on the link in the description to download Matchmasters and complete the in-game rewards calendar to win free daily gifts and the chance to win a $500 USD Amazon gift card. Gift card winners will be announced in-game January 28th.